host, Pastor Jeff Seymour. I want to thank you for tuning into our video again this week, and it's good to have you with us. Our prayers are that something that's said in the next few moments will be beneficial to you, be something that will help you in your life, and hopefully at the same time help you to help somebody else. You know, the last time that we were with you, we talked about not getting sidetracked in life, and we tried to encourage you to going through these times we're going through right now, especially in this pandemic year, this unprecedented year. You know, it's easy to get sidetracked, especially by the adversities of life, and those things can get us really discouraged and frustrated, and I tell you, it really causes loneliness to set in, and fatigue mentally and emotionally. And you know, unfortunately, one of the things is that we all going to experience this in some way, but many people today, I believe, are really experiencing the sidetracks of life, and we want to try to encourage you, especially when you're going through these kind of times. And as I sat back and thought about this, I said, you know, what do we really do? What do we do when we get in these sidetrack places of life? And you know, I think when we start to look at this, you know, it can be really a defining moment for us. You know, whether we'll make it or break it is depending on what we do and the attitude that we will combat these times with and go against these times with. And I tell you, you know, there's basically two choices, I think, that typically happen for a lot of people when you get in these sidetrack moments. You know, we're gonna be more determined. We're gonna really learn lessons what we're going through to help us to trust God more than ever. Or the opposite of that's going to be we're going to get so frustrated, so discouraged that we're just going to, you know, give up and just, you know, think, you know, all life is over. Life is just passing us by. And I tell you, when that happens, a lot of times we get very cynical in life. You know, when I think about being cynical, I think about when I was growing up, there was a TV show that came on. You know, of course, you know, in those days we had, you know, 2 or 3 channels that came in if the weather was good, if the antenna was turned the right way. But one of those shows that always seemed to come on was on Saturday night, and usually the family would sit around and watch it. It was called Hee Haw. Sure, probably a lot of you remember that show and remember all the crazy antics that went on with it. Well, there was always an episode every week, a segment on the show that you would find 3 or 4 guys sitting on a old porch of a store or a house somewhere. They were all in very much discouragement looks, and they had a jug of moonshine they were passing around, and they were all talking about how bad life had been to them. And what it always end up doing is before the whole thing was over, they had this little ditty they would sing, you know, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all, doom, despair, and agony on me. You know, I think sometimes when we get in those cynical places of life, that's really the kind of attitudes we get. We get those attitudes that, you know, it's never going to get any better. It's never going to, and life's never going to change. I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck in this place. Well, I want to encourage you today, you don't have to stay stuck on these sidetracks, places of life. You can really find a way to combat this. You can really find a way to find victory through this. You know, I think about one good example for us is probably comes from the Old Testament is Joseph. Joseph was a young man that, you know, from a very early age, he was promised, and he was had a destiny of God to really lead his people in a mighty way. And the thing is, though, that Joseph, even though he knew about this early on, and he began to voice this vision he felt like God had given him, it wasn't received very well. And he found himself on sidetracks more than once. You know, the first thing that happened to him was his brothers, his own brothers even. They got so resentful by what they felt like he was being so braggadocious about what God was going to do that they sold him into slavery. I mean, his own brothers sold him into slavery. You're talking about a sidetrack. Man, that's crazy. But then when he gets into slavery, he's working for this master. He's in servitude to this master and his family. Well, the master's wife lied about Joseph and what he did, and it caused him to get thrown in prison. So he's went from one bad sidetrack to another bad sidetrack. And then as he's in prison, some of those saying they're going to help him there, well, they forget about him. And it looks like the sidetrack is just staying forever. There's no going anywhere. And so Joseph is in this place, and really, you know, he had the opportunity to get very discouraged. He had the opportunity to just, you know, sing that sad song of doom, despair, and agony on me. But he didn't. He didn't. Joseph still trusted God. He still had faith in God that he was going to help him, that he was going to follow through with that. And he found his way off of that sidetrack eventually. You know, our success or failure in life is going to be determined how we handle sidetracks. It's going to be determined on our attitudes, on our outlook. You know, are we going to sing the old bad songs, or are we going to begin to rejoice and give praise unto God that even in the midst of the tough times, he's still with us. He's still there. He's going to see us through. You know, I think about Paul and Silas. They were two contemporaries from the New Testament that, you know, they found themselves sidetracked one day, thrown into the dungeon of a prison. They were in this place, and all because they've been doing what God called them to do. They've been out spreading the gospel. They've been out sharing and ministering to people, but people didn't like it. And they arrested them, beat them up, threw them into the dungeon, had them in a dark hole somewhere. And it says that at the midnight hour, you could hear them singing. No, they wasn't passing a jug going doom, despair, and agony on me. No, they were singing praises unto God. Everybody heard them. Matter of fact, it says the whole place began to shake because of their singing even, and all the cell doors opened, all the chains fell off. God was in the middle of it, and he loved what he was hearing, and I believe he was bringing freedom to them. You know, the sidetrack places of life are those kind of places that, you know, are we going to give up? Or are we going to go through? Are we going to just settle to this is it, and we're never going to make it? Or are we going to look at God and realize that he's faithful, he's with us, he's going to see us through? You know, the easiest thing would be just to give up. The easiest thing would be to say, well, I surrender. I can't do this anymore. But I tell you, I want to encourage you today, don't do that. Keep your faith in Jesus. Keep your faith. Keep yourself motivated. Keep stirring up that spirit inside of you. Keep fanning the flame. Keep praising God, opening your mouth, rejoicing in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. You know, Proverbs 3 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. You know, we got to trust in God. We got to know that he is going to be the way maker when there looks like there is no way. You know, he's going to be the truth when it looks like all lies are being told us. He's going to be the very life that we need now if we will trust in him. He is the one. He is the one that's going to see us through. You know, the sidetrack places will come. All of us will experience them at some time, but you don't have to stay there. You know, how do you handle it when you get there? Well, keep the same attitude that, bless God, we're going to trust God regardless. And if we do that, he's going to be faithful to us. He's going to see us through. God is not a man that he would lie. Matter of fact, he is going to be there for you. He said that he'd never leave you nor forsake you. So I just want to encourage you today. If you're on that sidetrack place of life right now, just begin to rejoice in the Lord. Rejoice in the Lord, because he's going to make a way of escape for you today. Praise God. I hope this has been beneficial for somebody today. I hope it's helped you in some way. And I hope this will help you to help somebody else even. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again next time.